Imagine this, you're worth hundreds of millions. You've collected rare watches, owned private jets, built empires. You walk into a Ferrari dealership with a wire transfer ready, eager to buy the newest limited edition model. And they say no. Not, we're sold out. Not, there's a waiting list. Just, no. You're not welcome here. Your money, no matter how much of it, isn't good enough. Your name has been flagged. You've been banned. Not for breaking the law, not for failing to pay, but for something far more subjective, far more personal. You violated Ferrari's unwritten code. Maybe you painted your car the wrong color. Maybe you sold it too quickly. Maybe you posted the wrong photo on Instagram. Or maybe, and this is the most unsettling part, Ferrari simply decided you're not the right kind of person to represent their brand. This isn't a bug in Ferrari's system, it's a feature. And it's one of the most brilliant, ruthless, and counterintuitive business strategies in modern luxury. Because here's the paradox, Ferrari doesn't need you to love them, they need you to fear losing them. Welcome to the only luxury brand in the world that has turned rejection into a religion and made billions doing it. Let's be clear about what Ferrari is and what it isn't. Ferrari isn't a car company that happens to make expensive vehicles. It's a luxury brand that happens to produce automobiles. The distinction matters. Because while most automakers chase volume, market share, and customer satisfaction, Ferrari operates under a completely different mandate: maintain mystique at all costs. The numbers tell the story. In 2023, Ferrari delivered approximately 13,600 cars globally. By comparison, Porsche delivered over 320,000, Mercedes-Benz, nearly 2 million. Ferrari could easily triple production and still sell every car. They choose not to. This isn't about manufacturing constraints, it's about manufactured scarcity. And scarcity in the luxury economy is the ultimate currency. But Ferrari's gatekeeping goes far beyond limiting production. They've constructed an elaborate system of rules, restrictions, and social contracts that govern not just who can buy their cars, but how owners can use them, modify them, photograph them, and even sell them. Break these rules, you're out. Permanently, the Ferrari blacklist is whispered about in collector circles with the kind of reverence usually reserved for secret societies. There's no official document, no published guidelines, no appeals process. The brand operates with the opacity of a private club and the authority of a medieval guild. Cross Ferrari, and you'll never own another new model again. They won't tell you why, they won't negotiate, they'll simply move on. To understand why this works, why it doesn't destroy the brand but actually strengthens it, we need to examine the psychology of luxury itself. In 1899, economist Thorstein Veblen introduced the concept of conspicuous consumption, the idea that people buy luxury goods not for their utility but as a public display of wealth and status. But Veblen missed something crucial. In true luxury, it's not just about having money, it's about being chosen. Ferrari understands this at a molecular level. They've turned the entire buying process into a selection ritual that positions the brand as the selector, not the seller. You don't buy a Ferrari, you're invited to steward one. This inverts the traditional customer-company relationship. In most industries, the customer holds power through choice. They can walk away, buy from competitors, demand better treatment. But Ferrari has engineered a scenario where they hold all the cards. They can reject you, you cannot reject them. Not really, because there is no substitute for Ferrari. The psychological mechanism at work here is called reactance theory. When people feel their freedom is restricted, their desire for the restricted thing intensifies. Tell someone they can't have something and they want it more. Ferrari has weaponized this insight into a business model, but there's a deeper layer. Banning customers doesn't just create desire, it creates fear. Current Ferrari owners don't just want the next model, they're terrified of losing access to it. This fear drives compliant behavior. It turns customers into brand ambassadors who police themselves and each other. The community enforces Ferrari's standards without Ferrari having to do much at all. This is control masquerading as exclusivity, and it's extraordinarily effective. The list of people who've been restricted, blacklisted, or banned by Ferrari reads like a who's who of wealth and fame. These aren't abstract examples, they're real cases that illuminate Ferrari's strategic calculus. Justin Bieber reportedly found himself on Ferrari's unfavored list after a series of infractions, leaving his Ferrari 458 Italia in a hotel parking lot for weeks, wrapping it in an electric blue finish with custom Liberty Walk body kit, auctioning it off within a year of purchase, and posting photos that Ferrari deemed insufficiently respectful of the brand. The message was clear. Even global celebrity doesn't grant you immunity from Ferrari's standards. Kim Kardashian faced similar treatment. After purchasing a white Ferrari F430 and having it wrapped in gray to match her other vehicles, she violated Ferrari's strict policies about modifications. Ferrari's position? Their engineers spent years perfecting the aesthetic and performance balance. A wrap isn't just a cosmetic choice, it's an affront to their vision. Floyd Mayweather, who's owned multiple Ferraris, allegedly ran into issues with Ferrari's requirement that buyers of certain limited edition models retain the cars for a minimum period before resale. Mayweather's habit of flipping cars quickly, while personally profitable, threatened Ferrari's carefully controlled resale market. The brand values long-term custodianship over short-term speculation. Deadmau5, Joel Zimmerman, became perhaps the most famous Ferrari ban case when he wrapped his 458 Spider as a Ferrari, complete with a custom neon cat-themed vinyl wrap and Ferrari logo replaced with Ferrari badging. Ferrari's cease and desist letter cited trademark infringement, but the real issue was deeper. This kind of playful irreverence undermines the gravitas Ferrari cultivates. Zimmerman ended up selling the car and publicly burning bridges with the brand. Ferrari didn't care. They'd made their point. Even collectors can fall from grace. When rare car collector David Lee documented Ferrari's alleged refusal to sell him a LaFerrari Aperta, despite his extensive Ferrari collection and purchasing history, he exposed a reality Ferrari rarely acknowledges. Ownership history doesn't guarantee access to future models. Ferrari reserves the right to deny anyone for any reason at any time. These aren't petty vendettas, they're calculated brand management decisions. Each ban sends a message to the broader Ferrari community. Play by our rules or lose your privileges. And here's the remarkable part. People keep playing. To outsiders, Ferrari's aggressive gatekeeping looks irrational. Why would any company deliberately antagonize wealthy customers eager to spend money? Why risk public relations disasters when celebrity clients air their grievances? The answer lies in understanding what Ferrari is actually protecting. Not this year's sales, but the long-term value architecture of the entire brand ecosystem. First, resale value protection. Ferrari maintains some of the strongest residual values in the automotive industry. Limited edition models frequently appreciate rather than depreciate. A 2014 LaFerrari with a $1.4 million MSRP now trades north of $3 million. A 1962 250 GTO sold for $48.4 million in 2018. This value retention isn't accidental. It's engineered through supply discipline and market control. By banning flippers and speculators, Ferrari ensures their cars aren't treated as liquid commodities. By restricting modifications, they protect the pristine originality that collectors value. Each ban reinforces the message: these cars are rare assets, not consumable goods. Current owners benefit enormously from this. Their cars hold value precisely because Ferrari is ruthless about scarcity. Every potential buyer Ferrari rejects increases the value of existing cars in the ecosystem. Owners understand this. They're complicit in their own restriction because it serves their financial interests. Second, brand dilution prevention. Luxury brands face a constant threat. Accessibility leads to ubiquity, and ubiquity destroys luxury. Ferrari operates on a razor's edge. They need to be visible enough to maintain cultural relevance, but rare enough to preserve mystique. Every modified Ferrari, every wrapped LaFerrari, every quick flip dilutes brand control. When Deadmau5 Ferrari went viral, it introduced millions of people to Ferrari, but not the Ferrari the company wants people to see. Instead of timeless Italian elegance, they saw cartoon cats and internet memes. Ferrari's concern isn't snobbery, it's strategic. The brand's power derives from a carefully curated image, racing heritage, engineering excellence, Italian artistry, exclusivity. Anything that undermines this narrative threatens the premium Ferrari commands. A $300,000 car becomes worth $300,000 because of the story around it, not just the materials in it. Third, narrative control. In the Instagram age, Ferrari's products appear in millions of feeds, blogs, and videos. The company has zero control over this content, unless they control the people creating it, by enforcing strict guidelines about how Ferraris can be presented, modified, and discussed. The company attempts to control its narrative in a decentralized media landscape. Ban the wrong kind of influencer, and you discourage thousands of others from similar behavior. Enforce minimum ownership periods, and you ensure your cars don't become props in YouTube videos titled, "I bought and flipped a Ferrari in 30 days." This is brand management as behavior modification. Ferrari doesn't need to police every owner. They just need to make examples of enough high-profile ones that the rest self-regulate. Fourth, artificial scarcity as status signal. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Ferrari's customers don't just want a fast car. They want a status marker that communicates their position in the social hierarchy. And status only works if it's exclusive. By being notoriously difficult to deal with, by maintaining opaque buying processes, by banning people seemingly at whim, Ferrari increases the status signal of ownership. When you see someone driving a Ferrari, you don't just know they're wealthy, you know they were selected, they passed the test. They're in the club, Rejection amplifies this. Every person Ferrari bans makes everyone else feel more special. The harder it is to get in, the more valuable membership becomes. Ferrari has turned customer friction into customer value. To understand Ferrari's modern gatekeeping, we need to go back to the beginning, to Enzo Ferrari himself, the man whose philosophy still haunts the company decades after his death in 1988.
Oggi possono sapere poco di quello che è stata la mia vita e il mio passato.
Enzo Ferrari never particularly liked selling road cars. He tolerated it as a necessary evil to fund his true passion, racing.
Se dovessi dire che quando sono partito pensavo di farmi qualche cosa di più di una sola macchina, direi una bugia.
His famous quote captures this perfectly. Aerodynamics are for people who can't build engines. But equally revealing is his approach to customers. The client is not always right. Enzo viewed Ferrari ownership as a privilege to be earned, not a transaction to be completed. He was known for personally rejecting potential buyers he deemed unworthy, including celebrities and industrialists. His criteria were mysterious and often seemed arbitrary, but they established a precedent. Ferrari chooses you, not the other way around. This wasn't just personal eccentricity. Enzo understood something fundamental about desire and value. He recognized that in luxury, the seller's selectiveness enhances the product's desirability. By positioning himself above the customer, he made Ferrari aspirational in a way mainstream manufacturers could never achieve. The corporate structure has changed. Ferrari is now a publicly traded company, no longer part of Fiat Chrysler, but the DNA persists. The company still allocates its most exclusive models using criteria beyond just wealth. Racing participation, collection size, brand loyalty, public behavior. They still maintain the blacklist. They still reserve the right to refuse. In a sense, every Ferrari executive is channeling Enzo's ghost, maintaining the founder's vision of Ferrari as something beyond commerce. A brotherhood, a religion, a standard of excellence that demands reverence from those fortunate enough to approach it.
Quando lei pensa che il figlio rappresenta la continuità di noi stessi, lei lo porta a scuola, il giorno che riesce negli studi che è il primo della classe, lei è orgoglioso del proprio figlio, capita quello che per un costruttore realizza trasformando una materia informe dei forgiati in una meccanica vivente, in una armonia di suoni.
Here's where Ferrari's strategy reveals its true genius and its unsettling power. In almost every other industry, alienating customers is business suicide. Service, satisfaction, and loyalty programs dominate modern corporate strategy. Companies bend over backward to accommodate, apologize, and retain customers. The prevailing wisdom? Make people feel valued and they'll reward you with their business. Ferrari operates in the exact opposite manner and thrives. They don't apologize for bans. They rarely explain them. They offer no appeals process, no reconciliation pathway, no customer service recovery strategy. They simply move on, secure in the knowledge that for every banned customer, 10 more are desperate to take their place. This only works because Ferrari has achieved something exceedingly rare. They've made desire outlast dignity. People will tolerate disrespect, arbitrary rules, and public humiliation for the chance to own a Ferrari. The brand has transcended rational consumer behavior and entered the realm of the symbolic. Ownership signifies something beyond the car itself. Consider this. When Ferrari bans someone, they don't lose customers, they gain legend. The Deadmau5 incident generated enormous media coverage, much of it sympathetic to Ferrari's position. The message it sent to existing and potential customers? Ferrari doesn't need you, you need Ferrari. This is where the psychology becomes truly fascinating. In relationship dynamics, whether personal or commercial, the party willing to walk away holds the power. Ferrari has positioned itself as perpetually willing to walk away. They've made rejection a core brand attribute, and paradoxically, this makes people want them more. It's the nightclub velvet rope strategy scaled to the automotive industry. The harder it is to get in, the more people want to be inside. The bouncer's indifference doesn't discourage the line, it validates it. Today, Ferrari's gatekeeping has evolved into an even more sophisticated system. The company doesn't just ban problematic owners, it proactively filters buyers before they become problems. For limited production models like the SF90XX Stradale or the recently announced F80 hypercar, Ferrari employs a multi-tier allocation process. First consideration goes to proven collectors with extensive Ferrari ownership history. Second tier, customers who actively campaign Ferrari race cars in competitive series. Third, those with demonstrated long-term retention of previous limited models. Nouveau riche need not apply, at least not immediately. You can't walk in off the street with $3 million and drive home in an F80. You need to earn your way through the lesser models first. Buy an entry-level Roma or 296 GTB. Keep it for the required period. Maintain it at authorized dealers. Photograph it tastefully. Speak of it reverently. Then, maybe, you'll be invited to the next level. This creates a ladder of aspiration within Ferrari's own product line. The brand becomes not just exclusive relative to other manufacturers, but hierarchical within itself. There's Ferrari ownership, and then there's Ferrari ownership. The Blacklist has also become more sophisticated. Ferrari now monitors social media, tracks resale activity, and coordinates information across global markets. They know when someone customizes a car, sells it quickly, or speaks critically of the brand. The dossier is digital, comprehensive, and permanent. But here's what's crucial. This system doesn't operate in the shadows anymore. Ferrari's gatekeeping is now part of its brand identity. Potential customers know about the rules before they buy. They accept the restrictions as part of the package. In fact, many embrace them, because those restrictions are what make ownership meaningful. The gatekeeping has become the gate. We began with the rejection. Let's end with the recognition. Ferrari has proven something that contradicts nearly every principle of modern customer service, growth-focused capitalism, and relationship marketing. They've demonstrated that in the luxury economy, scarcity and control can be more valuable than scale and satisfaction. That rejection can be more powerful than acceptance, that the word no can be worth more than yes. This isn't a strategy every brand can replicate. It requires decades of accumulated prestige, genuine product excellence, and the courage to sacrifice short-term revenue for long-term mystique. Ferrari can ban customers because there is no substitute for Ferrari, not emotionally, not symbolically, not in the marketplace. But beyond the business mechanics, Ferrari's approach reveals something profound about human psychology. We don't just want things, we want to be chosen to have them. We don't just value rarity, we value the validation that comes from being selected. Ferrari hasn't just built a car company, They've built a system that makes rejection feel like foreplay and ownership feel like coronation. Every ban reinforces the brand. Every rejected customer makes current owners feel more special. Every restrictive rule increases the perceived value of playing by those rules. Ferrari has turned gatekeeping from a defensive measure into an offensive strategy, a way of manufacturing desire by manufacturing denial. In the end, Ferrari doesn't love banning people because they're cruel or capricious. They love it because it works. Because in luxury, the ultimate power isn't giving people what they want. It's making them prove they're worthy of having it. And as long as there are people willing to chase that validation, willing to jump through hoops and accept disrespect for the privilege of ownership, Ferrari will continue to hold the gates and charge admission to even stand in line. The house always wins when the house controls who's allowed to play.